Hi, this is Lindsay again from Echo East Creative, and in this video tutorial I want to show you how I go about making what I like to call the 5 logo satellite pattern for a step and repeat. It's a basic pattern, simple, but it's useful. It revolves around a center logo, a more important logo, usually the event title or the title sponsor, with 4 supporting sponsor logos surrounding it like satellites. So you have the top, bottom, left, and right. Now, the main logo creates sort of a tighter diamond pattern, and the supporting logos create a wider diamond pattern. And that's accomplished by alternating what's top, bottom, left, right around each of these. So let's get to work. The software I'm going to use is Inkscape. You could use Illustrator. Now I set up a 96-inch or 8 feet by 8 feet document, and for a background I just made a simple dark gradient from purple to black, and I already imported 4 logos. The logos I got from this cool site logoopenstock.com, which gives you templates, open source templates for different logos you want to make. So I just went ahead and picked 4 that I thought would work good for our example. So the candy store, I'm picturing that as the event title, like an opening for a candy store. And then these are the 4 sponsor logos. Okay, we might change the sizes later, but for now let's get the logos sized relative to each other over here. So we start with the event logo. Right now it's set at 8 inches. I'm thinking I might want it more like 9 inches. Now, you'll kind of notice right now that with these 6, which are all sized at these 4, which are all sized 6 inches wide, you'll see one of the first rules of step and repeat design, which is that all logos are not created equal, at least visually. So even though they're all sized the same width, they don't look as strong as each other. So like this one is 6 inches, it looks a lot visually more strong than chipset. So we're going to kind of, by eyeballing it, we're going to make them look more equal. So this, will start off by pulling this down to more maybe 5 inches, and this down to maybe 5.5, and chipset should be bigger, maybe all the way up to 8.5. It's a little too big, so still. Okay, that'll work. Okay, so now that we have the logo sized, let's go ahead and make the satellite pattern. I'm going to build it off the artboard for now to create like a control area, and then I'll clone them and move them here. So for now I'm going to put guides here as a center point, and then for each of the logos I'm going to drag them up, line them up with that center point, and then move them top, bottom, left, or right. So for horizontal ones, I want to make them 15 inches away from the center of the title logo. So go ahead and apply that. I get to do the same thing here, but left 15 inches. Now W box. I think I have the snap on. Okay. Now for vertical, for top and bottom, I want to make them 12 inches away from the center. Okay, looks good. I'm going to hover over and delete the guides. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight these. Now either using the clone button here or Alt-D, I'm going to clone them. The clones automatically are selected, so I'll just drag those clones onto the artboard. That looks about right. Now first thing you'll notice is that this is black and can't see it. So in order to see it, Just going to highlight it over here in the control area. Pick the eyedropper and just pick this pink. Now, of course, you'll notice that when I changed it here, the clone reflected the change, which is what we want. Now, to complete our 4x4 pattern, we're going to need to move the event title into these 4 spots here. So we'll highlight it and we'll duplicate it with Control D, and then we're going to move it horizontally negative 15 inches, make it to the left, and then up 12 to put it up here. So, or, oh yeah, that works. And then we're going to duplicate that, and we are going to move it 24 inches up, 12 and 12. Highlight them both, duplicate those, move them over 15 and 15. So 30. Highlight this line, duplicate it, move it over 30. And let me do that again. Okay, duplicate it, move it over. And duplicate this and move it down 12 and 12, so 24. Negative number. Okay, now you'll notice that we need to switch these two because they repeat and these two repeat. So WBox and chipset are paired, so we're going to alternate them. So we're going to move this down 12 and 12. I keep forgetting that Inkscape is reversed. The 0 points down here. So anyway, negative to move down, and positive to move up. Now same thing for Echo East and Running Life, or Runaway Life. Move this over 30 to the right, 15 and 15. And this the other way. Okay. Now we're going to highlight or select all 16 of these, duplicate those, and move them horizontally in our usual 15-inch, or in this case doubled up to 30-inch increments here. And now you'll notice, obviously it's too big. The pattern is too big for the artboard, and you might have noticed that earlier. But when I'm designing the satellite pattern, I just like to have it be relative, the sizes relative to each other, knowing that once we get it on the artboard, the pattern's probably going to need to be resized. So we'll do that. We'll highlight them here, and you could just drag the corner handle here and do it by eye. I like to be a little more exact though. So I'm going to use the scale panel, and I'm going to scale it by a percentage, just because we still have to copy and move things around, and I want to be able to do the math in my head a little bit. So to be easy, I'm going to scale it down 75% and see if that looks good. And that looks like it'll work. Cool. So now we'll take these, duplicate those, and as you probably guessed it, move them down. So we're going to go back here, clear that out, and move them down in chunks. Now, because we scaled this whole pattern down 75%, not only did the size of the logos change, but the distance between them changed too. So, you know, we were moving things 15 inches left and right, and we were moving things 12 inches up and down. But now we have to move them 75% of those 12 inches to keep this pattern. So we're going to do that. So 75% of 12 inches is 9 inches. So apply that a couple times. And we'll do it again, but we only need to do the top two. We don't need to do all four because it won't fit. So Control D to duplicate, and then move those down. And there's our pattern. Looks pretty good. But one thing you're going to notice is that we have lots of colors going on. with the rainbow and with the pink and the shaded gray. So sometimes you have event sponsors who are totally cool with you changing the color scheme of their logos. Other times they are not cool with that. If these brands here were to say, oh no, we want to keep it exactly the way that our branding is, we just leave it as it is, as the logos fall, and that would be it. But you know, they might be cool and they might know that the Step and Repeat looks gaudy, so, and they're willing to have like more of a cohesive color scheme. So that's what we're gonna do this time. I'm gonna use gold, so I'm gonna highlight them all in the control group here, and I'm going to select this dark gold from this shadow. And as you notice, change the clones, or change the original controls, and all the clones get changed. In Illustrator, you would have to highlight all of them, you know, and then change the colors. But that doesn't take that long. But I don't like the gold here. It's a little too strong. So I'm going to go over here to the Hue, Saturation, and Luminosity panel and drop the saturation down, I don't know, like there maybe, and make it a little lighter. A little more saturated maybe. Something more like that. One thing I noticed though is I want to make the candy store logo, it's the event title, and even though it's got pink, which sets it off, I want to make it a little bigger in the pattern. And I think if they're paying a lot of money to be the title sponsor, they want to be bigger too. So I'm going to highlight it here in the control area, and it's 9 inches now. Let's see what it looks like at 10 inches. Yeah, I like that. It's a little big, kind of bubbly, but I think it'll look good. It's good space. Yeah, one thing you notice is I changed it. It's 10 inches here, but it's 7.5 inches here. So obviously that 75% scaling we did is still being applied even when we change it in the control group. It's still relative. So that clone, all these clones are all relative 75% to the original as well. So you can change things over here in the control area in terms of size, and it'll retain that relationship here. Well, I think that looks all right for our fake Step and Repeat. Has the pattern that we want, and the colors seem all right. This stands out prominently, and these sort of just support it. I think it works. So that's it for this video tutorial. I hope you learned something, or at least enjoyed yourself a little bit. And I'll be talking to you again later. Happy Step and Repeating.